Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Scorpio in October 2019. Hello, Scorpio. How are you guys doing? I hope that you are doing well. All right, Scorpio. If you saw the end of September reading that I did for the collective water sign energies, you will see, I have returned home. My vacation is over. Sad crying emoji face. Tons of them. I haven't taken a vacation. Well, I guess I did earlier this year, maybe. This vacation was long overdue for me. It was a chance for me to really unplug and really just focus on relaxing and being absolutely lazy if I chose to be, absolutely sleeping in if I chose to be, absolutely having ice cream for breakfast if I chose to, which I did not, but it was a viable option. It was available to me. But anyway, I thoroughly enjoyed my vacation, but I'm back home now, preparing to get back into the swing of things. And yeah, so anyway, half of this October month's recordings will be done here at home, or practically half. And you're in that half that got done when I returned home. So here we are. Anyway, enough about me. How about you? Happy birthday to the Scorpios that will be celebrating at the tail end of October. No matter what day you're watching this or what time you're watching this, I hope you have an amazing birthday. Hope you're surrounded by people that you love and that love you back. And I hope you have some amazing gifts. And if you have the option for cake and ice cream, have some for me. It's my favorite dessert. Oh, it's my favorite. Anyway, guys, let's get into it. I have shuffled off camera. That is your main spread there. I will shuffle on camera now for your outcome and your overall energy. Once all of the cards are out and they are lying face up on the table, that is when the reading begins. You can check for the timestamp in the description box below. You can also check in the description box for the information you need if you want to get a personal reading with me. Simply follow the steps that are laid out there for you. But if you do have a question before you actually place an order with me, feel free to email me at the exact same address, okay? Also remember, guys, liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting, doing all that fun stuff YouTube allows you to do, encourages the channel to grow, gets more people involved, gets more people viewing the channel, all that good stuff builds the community. And in general, I'm like kind of on this interest of building towards positive and influential, or at least constructive content. You know, I'm not just speaking in a room by myself just for the pleasure of it. I really do want to connect with people and really see not just things grow and things increase for my own gain. That's not at all even why I started this channel. It really was, I need to offlet this energy and offlet this skill set that has been lying dormant in my body for so many years. And so basically, the format that I've chosen here on YouTube, the best way that you can help me with that goal is to do any and all the things that YouTube allows you to do. So liking, sharing, commenting, and of course subscribing if you are not already subscribed, okay? All right, enough of that. Let's get into it. Let me see Scorpio's outcome for October 2019. Please show me Scorpio's outcome for October 2019. Please show me. Okay, is that one or two? That's one. There we go. Bottom of the deck is going to be the overall energy. All right, and one card came face down. Let's see what it is. Okay. All right, Scorp, let's see what's going on with you. Please show me where Scorpio is in October 2019. Please show me Scorpio in October 2019. Please show me. That was interesting. My jaw got, not lockjaw, but it got really stiff. That's interesting. That's the first time they've done that. They do all kinds of things to my body. It's kind of weird, and it's weird when they choose to do it. Anyway, Scorpio, that's neither here nor there for you. What is here for you is your starting position with the Two of Cups. Oh boy. Soulmate energy. I say that in a sing-songy way, in a playful way, because, you know, if you've been with my channel for a while, I have a lot of caveats when it comes to soulmate energy or the presence of these cards in the tarot deck that are often labeled as soulmate cards, because not everybody who is watching this is dealing with a soulmate. And those that are dealing with soulmates, the caveat that I most go to when I talk about soulmates is it is not always going to be the most pleasant experience in your life. Soulmates are not what we put in movies and Hallmark cards. You know, it's not love and you know, or it is love, but it's not, you know, undying love or unfettered love or a love that is unconditional. A lot of times there's a lot of conditions. A lot of times there's a lot of strife and difficulty with soulmates. That to me works because every soulmate that you have in life, number one, isn't romantic, and number two, is often here to teach you something, is often here to encourage you to grow or evolve or awaken or be enlightened in some type of way. And the way in which that happens, it's not that you and your soulmate sit down and have a heart-to-heart conversation, or you sit down in a meditative pose across from each other and you speak your feelings out in a peaceful, calm manner. No, sometimes soulmates are some rock'em sock'em type of energy. It's very volatile. So I say all that to precursor and warn some of you that are looking to hear about a soulmate relationship to understand that when I talk about them, they're not going to always be pleasant. Now, is this one pleasant for you? Let's see. Sorta, kinda. That is a long way to introduce this energy to you, or at least introduce what I'm feeling for you right now, Scorpio, as this being your starting position, is that you do have a connection with someone. It is very effusive, or it is very tender. There's a lot of symbiosis in this relationship, a lot of interconnectivity. As you can see, one skull is pouring the contents of its skull into the others, you know, so you guys might think alike. You guys might share your deepest, darkest thoughts or deepest, darkest secrets with one another. The other one has the hand going up into the rib cage of the other, caressing that heart, maybe about to rip that heart out. I don't know, but there is like this interwoven, interconnected feeling with this person, regardless of whether or not they are a romantic tie to you. Again, a soulmate does not have to be someone that you are romantically involved in. Just to clarify that, or to give you an example, I just spent a week with one of my soulmates, and that's my sister. It was just to give you, we had it wasn't even like a huge, like, tearful goodbye. I talk to her every day. I see her regularly throughout the year. But when we're together, it's so wonderful, and then when we go apart, it's like slightly painful, yeah? But we're sisters, you know? We love each other. It's a familial love. It's not a romantic love. So this could be you and your sister, or you and your best friend, or whoever. Scorpio, the big part of this connection, or excuse me, this relationship is the connection, is feeling as if you guys are embedded in one another. Oh, man, this is, wow. Ooh, and they just like zapped me in my solar plexus. So, I don't want all of you to think it is a soulmate. But then again, it's subjective. When I say that word, even if I explain what I believe it is, you have your own definition. So let's just go ahead and use it. I'm just going to go ahead and use it. Try my best to stop giving you warnings about it, because maybe one or two of you or a few of you out here just want to hear like this lollipop version of whatever is going to unfold here. And I'm going to tell you, energetically, I can already feel it's got its ups and downs. This is not going to be, you know, a walk in the park here. So anyway, your connection with this person is very deep, like to the bone, literally, with these skulls, right? Or these skeletons, yeah? To the bone, you guys can understand each other, feel each other, really get at each other, meaning it's easy for you to love them, and it's easy for you to hate them in a way, or treat them a certain way, or them to treat you a certain way, push each other's buttons, get under each other's skin. As much as you can bring each other pleasure and happiness and contentment, you can also drive each other up a wall. So it works both ways. And that to me is like the definition of a soulmate. In my personal definition, again, I'm going to try and pull myself out of it because I'm not a Scorpio and I'm not, anyway, I'm pulling myself out. But again, to bring it back to my sister, I've known her all my life. You know, she's younger than me. She's known me all her life, right? And we didn't always get along. We weren't always best of buds. A lot of times we spent a lot of energy and effort really getting into each other's, getting on each other's bad sides. Maybe that's growing pains. Maybe that's what it's like growing up and being a teenager and adolescent and all that good stuff. Maybe. But that really, our bond and me recognizing what it was did not happen until, I'd say, the last like 6 or 7 years. Okay? So I say that to illustrate to you that whoever this person is, romantic or not, it can go to the extremes with them. You can be so symbiotic, so like a mirror to one another, like as if you were the same person, or you had the same thoughts, or you had the same feelings, and you had the same urges to speak to one another at the exact same time. You had the inclination to speak about a certain subject or ask a certain question. And they were like, oh my God, I was wondering about the same thing. Or, oh, I was going to ask you that. It's like you can be that aligned, and it feels great. When you're not aligned, watch out, because, man, it's like, I don't even use this word much on my channel, if ever at all. Yin and yang, it has that quality of it, or to it, where you've got the very tender side of the feminine quality and the more prickly side of the yang or masculine energy, right? But it goes together and it flows between you. So when you're on, you're on. When you're off, you're off, and that's it. Now, what else is going on? Bit of off, bit of on, bit of everything, maybe. So I think you have this person in your life. Okay. You have them, but you don't have them. They exist, and maybe mostly in your mind they exist. Meaning, if this is a soulmate situation, if you know this person, you might not see each other often. You may not have seen each other for a long time, and it's sorrowful for you. It's saddening for you. 5 of Cups. Next door to your starting position, Scorpio. So that maze in the mind, I feel like you're walking that maze, maybe going down memory lane, thinking about this person, remembering what it was like to interact with them or talk with them or spend time with them, all that good stuff. You could be going around this maze thinking of the future, what it'll be like when you reunite, what it'll be like the next time you see each other, if you see each other again. For some of you, this is like up in the air energy, because something is telling me like there's a rift here, or a separation, or just distance and time apart due to life circumstances. This could be, if, just as an example, you could be married to someone who's in the service and they're on deployment right now, right? You're married, you're solid, you are anticipating their return, or if you're the serviceman abroad or servicewoman abroad, you can't wait to come home. But in the now, in the moment of October, how we get there, how we get back to a reunion, or when is it going to happen? When are they coming home? And, you guys are ironing out when you can meet up. Maybe this is a long distance relationship. You live in Sydney, your partner lives in Malawi or something like that. Is that even a place, Malawi? Did I just make that up, or am I using a wrong word? Let's use a real world location. They could live in Argentina or something like that. Malawi, is that a place? I'm not good at geography. It's like one of my worst subjects in school. Anyway, and the thing also with the 5 of Cups is that traditionally, you'll see in the Rider-Waite deck that this 5 of Cups is represented by somebody who is dressed in a cloak. They're looking down at 3 spilled cups, and 2 cups remain behind them. And of course, if we were looking at it linearly, or left to right, This Two of Cups literally would be behind the Five of Cups. So the traditional artwork, if you're not familiar, go ahead and Google it, Five of Cups, so you can see what I'm talking about. But the Two of Cups is behind this person, meaning in some of your cases, it is behind you. It's in the rear view. It's kind of over. And maybe it's been over for a long time. Years, months. Yeah? Maybe it's over, I don't know. For some of you, it's over. And I'm going to address that later. But for others of you, it's like behind you in the sense of you can remember it. You can still feel it. You can still, this is like a deep fucking connection, Scorpio. Like some of you can still feel this person on your body. You can still smell them in your home. Like some of you might literally like pick up a towel and be like, ah, that's her hair. That's his body odor or whatever you're into. You know, it's really sensual, not sensual to be sexy, but sensual in the sense of your senses, your 5 primary senses and your 6th sense as well is very connected to this person. So if like the breeze hits your arm a certain way, you think it was them touching you. It's like that. And it's because you're missing them. Again, separated by distance and time. Maybe there's been a falling out. There's some other reason for the separation. And for those that are together, just before I go to those who have lost it completely, I want to see if there's something about those who have it right now. What if they have it? You don't have it. Okay. 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 Okay, that would make sense. Okay. So, I said, what if they have it? And they're like, you don't have it, or they don't have it. Yeah? So this Two of Cups, not in my hand, but the Two of Cups connection that we talked about at the beginning. You don't have it. Meaning, if you're married, committed to this person, there's separation of some type for whatever reason. You don't have them in your physical space. Others of you, you don't have them due to an absolute loss of the relationship, an absolute breakup, an absolute dissolvement of a relationship, or in some extreme cases, an actual passing of another person, okay? They have passed on, okay? Others of you, where I was kind of like, oh, that makes sense. It makes sense in all the cases, but it makes sense with what I was about to talk about with this Five of Cups, where some of you have a soulmate, but you're not with them, and you're with someone else, or they're with someone else. So it's not a third-party situation. Don't jump on that, because it feels like you're aware that they're with someone else, or they're aware that you're with someone else. Everybody's aware that the partnership that exists in the Two of Cups that you both feel mutually, because again, that's a mutual feeling. They feel it as much as you feel it. There is an acknowledgement from both parties in the Two of Cups that we're not together because you're involved, or I'm involved with someone else, or we're both involved, and it's kind of like bad timing, and that makes sense because this figure on the Five of Cups is submerged to the chest in water. Water in tarot equals emotions, emotional concerns, the emotional realm. So it's overwhelming. You're like flooded with this energy of sighing and remorse or melancholy, feeling as if you're missing out, feeling as if a part of your soul or a part of your body, a part of your existence is not with you. Again, for all the reasons I've listed, they're actually passed on. They're separated because of time and distance, separated because of you're both in separate circumstances, or separated maybe for also a few of you where you are together with this person, you live with them, you know them, you speak with them regularly, but maybe you're in one of your off periods, because like I said at the beginning, that Two of Cups, when it's on, it's fabulous. When you guys are off, you're offbeat or you're misaligned, it can go haywire. It can go pretty bananas. It can go off the rail, right? So if you're in that group, this is just, a valley, and you're waiting for the hill, you're waiting for that hill ascension so you can go back up to the peak. Go back up to the tippy top, okay? Anything else with the Five of Cups? As much, okay, thank you. So look at the eye line of the figure here. How the skull is just pointed downwards. And the eye line is just not here. It's not meeting us dead on. I feel there's a lot of dwelling in the missing of this person. For whatever reason they're gone from you, for whatever reason you guys are separated, for whatever reason you guys aren't getting along, you just want to get back to when it was you guys together, or that lovely feeling of being aligned with them, of being connected with them at your highest of highs, your highest vibration, the highest peak you can climb with this person. You want to be up there with them. Everest. You want to you want to climb Mount Everest with this person. Like, maybe literally. Some of you are into that, maybe, but that's more figuratively I'm talking. You would love to isolate yourself, or maybe not even literally isolate yourself, but that feeling of camaraderie and connection is really insular between the two of you. You both recognize it. And maybe it's unspoken, maybe it's spoken to, maybe it's articulated and understood, or maybe it's just a je ne sais quoi kind of thing between the two of you. And you want that back. Ace of Wands. You want that back. Ace of Wands represents passion, represents fiery energy, represents, you know, passion, sexuality, sure. I mean, because again, this soulmate does not have to be romantic, but for many of you it will be, or sexual. For many of you it will be, and this is kind of indicated here. If you are knowing of this person in the biblical sense, you want to know of them again. If you haven't done it before, you can't wait to do it for the first time. It's one of these things of, I want to be with them. And additional to this is like coming up with a scheme, like coming up with a plan. This Five of Cups next to it is a reflective energy. It is about mourning and loss and kind of crying over spilled milk and kind of ruminating over things that didn't go your way, but it's also the springboard into, or at least the passageway, the gateway to, all right, how can I fix my circumstances? Someone, and it could be you, could be other person, could be both of you. There will be a considerable amount of time spent in this Five of Cups energy. Don't get me wrong. This isn't like a one afternoon I'm just sulking by and lying in my bed all day because I miss this person. No, this can be like days or weeks or even months, or in some extreme cases, years, feeling distraught and feeling disconnected from this person, okay? You know your story and you know your timeline better than I do. But with, like I said, it's a gateway or a passageway, because once that mournful process is over, you get reinvigorated. Some of you are really coming out of that right now. Others of you, you'll be waiting a little while longer, but eventually at some point, it sort of like how you see these red flowers or this red plant springing out of that skull there in the foreground. Well, the middle ground, I guess. The middle perspective of the card. It's like growing inside of your brain how and when you can reunite with this person. Some of you, like for those that have the military partner or friend who's abroad, you know when they're coming back. They're coming back in 6 weeks. They're coming back in 6 months. They're coming back whenever. You already know like when they're due to return home. So you're good. Others of you, you're just like marking, plotting, fixing, because that's what I was going to get to. Thank you they pulled me back. The Ace of Wands speaks to creativity. So some of you are hatching a plan, really scratching your head, really trying to find a clever way to reintroduce yourself to this person, to make amends with this person if you've had a falling out, to encourage some type of conversation if that's what you need. Whatever you need in order to quote unquote fix what's going on, what's gone wrong here, you're trying to find a way to do it. Or if you're not trying to, the thing also with aces is they're often opportunities, they're often chances, they're often gifts or potentials that are handed to us from from the divine, from God, from our angels, whatever you believe in or don't believe in. And I say that because if you are familiar with the traditional artwork of the aces, it's usually a hand like this gripping something or has it in its hand offering it out to the viewer. So this chance to do this, if you don't have a bright idea, if you don't know the first thing to do or the first step to take, at some point it's going to dawn on you. Like I said, it sprouts from your mind like the plant from the skull, or the opportunity itself presents itself to you. The opportunity in some cases falls in your lap, but not as serendipitously or as, Hollywood movie magic kind of thing. I think it's more of like you see a window of opportunity and you can choose to go through that window or through that door. The door isn't going to like move towards you and by that motion have you walk through it. No, the door might present itself, but you have to walk forward, turn the knob, open it, walk through, close it behind you. Like you have to exert some type of effort, but in other cases, you're like, oh, I'm going to find that door. And like, it's like that scene. Sorry. It's like that scene in Beetlejuice where I think it's the Alec Baldwin character. He draws a door on a brick wall with some chalk. And I think Gina Davis, or no, he just remembers to like draw the knob so that it opens. Like literally, some of you are going to fix the situation, create the door yourself. Others of you, it'll just manifest or present itself to you and you'll be able to walk through. But anyway, yeah, that's good for you. I like that. Now, what else is going on? And that's what, I feel it's real, man. It's real. Because somebody who's watching, maybe just one person, was really looking like for some cookie cutter soulmate message. And I'm like, no, not here. Not here. Because this is not ponies and princesses. This is not some fictitious, cartoon or something like that. And even cartoons, they have some type of conflict. You can't have a TV show. You can't have a piece of literature or a movie without conflict. So there is conflict here. Whoever needs that to be drawn out to them, there is conflict here. In this relationship, having this union, having this connection with a person, there is conflict, whether that's between the two of you or external parties, okay? There is conflict. That could have, thank you, this is where this is coming from. Because I did say some of you are in separation for reasons other than time and distance. And it could be, like I said, aha, see, they're drawing me back. Because I was ready to move on, and then they're like, come back. So remember I said, some of you are not with that person because you or them or both of you are involved in other relationships or you have other people in your lives. That is where this conflict is in that particular grouping. It's really intrusive. And it's more intrusive on one side than the other. Meaning, one of you has it worse than the other when it comes to any type of criticism about what type of relationship this is. Just one of you is under the microscope or catching a lot of flack more than the other. Both parties are getting it a little bit. At least. But one is just like getting just a little bit more of a, like this annoying twist. Like a twist, not a twist of the knife, because I don't feel like this is like a backstabbing thing, and that's not the right terminology or the right cliche. But definitely, especially if you're already involved in other relationships. Or especially if you have like a protective family element or a protective or intrusive friendship circle, something like that. Like, just for an example, if this is like if the intrusive element for one of you is a friendship circle, this could mean that maybe you and this person like are exes. And because of the history that you have, that might be a little volatile, might be a little dramatic, your friends are hovering over you, protecting you, guarding you. What are you talking to him for? You broke up with him 2 years ago. What do you do? What? And a lot of questions and a lot of concern. it comes from a quote unquote good place, but the way it feels to you and the other person, it feels very intrusive. It feels very much like, it's like a room. I don't want to use this because I don't think that's what this is, but you know, in the stereotypical way that people view Romeo and Juliet, because of the family issues on the Montagues and the Capulets, right? That's the two families. Because they had beef, the families, these two kids couldn't fall in love, right? And so our sympathy as the reader or the viewer of the play is, oh, they just want to love each other and their families are being stupid or their families are being overbearing. From the family's mutual perspectives, I'm trying to protect my son or daughter from that group over there. So it's like that. That's the tone of it. I know about the other side. I know about that other person. I know about where they come from. I know about the people that they hang out with. And I am trying to protect you. I'm trying to keep you from getting hurt. Or I'm trying to keep you from being mixed up in something you don't need to be mixed up in. So there we go. That wraps up the top 3. We're going to move on because for the sake of time. What else is going on for Scorpio? Yes. So beneath your Ace of Wands position, where we were talking a little bit ago about that creative spark or that reignition of passion or that first time burst of passion, whatever it is to you. 6 of Cups right beneath it. Hey. Oh, who is this? This might be you, Scorpio. Normally in the 6 of Cups, in the traditional tarot, Rider-Waite deck or similar decks, you'll see 2 people depicted, usually 2 young kids. One's a little bit older, one's younger, one's offering a cup to... It's very cute. It's very angelic or you know, precious or pure or whatever kids say nowadays, right? And I don't even think kids say that anymore. Anyway, in this card, you see a solo figure carrying these 6 cups. So somebody... And it might be mutual. You both might have this perception of yourselves, but it feels like somebody thinks they're carrying the load by themselves. They're keeping the flames of this fire burning all on their own, right? Underneath that Ace of Pentacles position. It feels like this person is obviously carrying 6 cups, could use some help, could use a tray, or at least, you know, the wear or the wits about them to come back for like 2 cups or 3 cups at a time, something like that. But I feel that this energy says, I'm holding on to these 6 cups for both of us. When we're back together, we'll share these cups together. We'll drink from all the cups together. It's almost like a waiting card. Waiting, like as if she was a waitress. Because it kind of, I mean, aside from her being... And no offense to anybody who's like waitressing or the waiters, I get really nervous. You ever see a waiter or waitress in their bare hand carry like 3 cups like this, like a freaking bear claw? I'm like, geez, are you okay? Why don't you have a freaking a tray, a little drinks tray? People are like grabbing 3 or 4 drinks at one time in their bare hand. That's kind of crazy. So that's what this feels like, the waiting. Like literally, not literally wait staff, but that's the visual that she has here, as if she was a waitress walking to somebody's table. Now, I also don't approve of this method of carrying cups to a table. I wish a waitress or a waiter would carry a drink under their arm. Hell no, send it back. Anyway, so someone here is waiting, holding on to this connection, but it feels, again, mutual. Everything you're doing, they're doing. Everything you're experiencing, they're experiencing, but the details of it, the nuances of it are different. If their friends are the ones that are concerned, on your end, it's your family, or vice versa. If you're feeling melancholy about the separation, they're feeling anxious about it. Does that make sense? You're both feeling something about this, but it might vary in the specificity of it, okay? So whoever this is, again, probably the both of you, the perception is, I'll hold on. I'll hold these cups for the both of us. I'll bring them for the both of us. I'll bring them to the table for the both of us. That is kind of not great, because if you both think that, then you both are putting yourself in the realm of the heroic, right? The savior. I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna make this happen. kind of grandiose, yeah? Kind of overstepping. Because with soulmates, you both have to come at the thing equally. Even if you're both doing the same thing, or you have this perception that you're the one who's going to initiate something, with the Ace of Wands coming above that. If you both have that perception, you're both sort of, in a way, canceling each other out, or you're overloading the system, so to speak. It's kind of weird. I would say this feels like, yes, look what's next door. Yes, that's why. You're overloading the system. If you both think you're carrying the load here, that you're going to be the one to save the day, or you're going to be the one to bring the spark back into the relationship, you're the one with the great genius idea of like, oh my God, when they come home from their tour abroad, I'm going to plan this big birthday, or I'm going to plan this big surprise party. And then they're, 2,500 miles away talking to people back home. Okay, when I come home, I want to do a really big surprise. I'm going to show up at our work and da-da-da-da-da. And she's saying, okay, I'm going to pretend that I'm visiting my aunt in Florida, but I'm actually going to be at the airport. You're both doing the same thing. It cancels it out in some way or fashion. Or it, again, overloads the system. It's too much. I don't know why it's too much. In that sense, that would just be overloading the system logistically. If the person abroad is saying, I'm going to surprise her at work, and then the wife at home is saying, I'm going to surprise him at the airport, somebody's not going to be able to receive their surprise logistically. You can't have two surprises go down. Now, that's not the worst thing to ever happen to a person. Oh, I missed out on a surprise reunion. Because if she shows up at the airport, he'll simply say, oh, I was going to come and surprise you at work. Oh, babe. And the effusive nature will continue. But you see what I mean? You're matching each other in your perception of what you want to do, how you want this thing to unfold. Something here has to give a little. Temperance. Next door. Major Arcana for Sagittarius, so some of you might be dealing with a Sagittarius, but you don't have to be. So there has to be some type of balance. That's why. Because right above it. Remember, I talked about that maze in the Five of Cups, roaming around the maze, in remembering and ruminating and fantasies and all that kind of stuff. You got to get out of your head. You got to get out of your head. You got to pull back a little bit on the heartstrings. You got to pull back a little bit on the emotions of it. Let's put, because, I see it. There's only one pentacle on this board. You have several cups. You've got fire, which is passionate energy, which exists in the physical, you can see it, touch it, sort of, but it's also hard to contain. It's also hard to control, right? Water, oh man, hard to control, So put some balance into your life with this temperance energy, okay? This could be an external person to you, not your person. It could be your person, but if it's not your person, this might be someone who's on your side, like going back to Romeo and Juliet, who's like their sympathizer, like the priest or the monk or something like that. It's definitely not Tybalt, right? Isn't that the guy's name? He like kills one of Romeo's friends or some shit like that. It's definitely like that, but there's one person amongst everybody in that story who's like, you guys should hook up. I think you crazy kids should fall in love. That's who this person is, if they're external to you or your partner. This person has a good objective view of the situation and an objective understanding of what's going on, and they support you amongst all the other people's concern about what's going on between you and your soulmate, okay? You have to pull this in, Scorpio. There's something about indulgence or, again, that submerged energy with the Five of Cups, diving too deep into the emotions of it, diving too deep into the fantasy of it. Or, thank you, because the Five of Cups talks about disappointment or feeling loss, right? So there's something here for some of you that have a soulmate that you can still connect with who isn't passed on, right? Or who isn't so removed from you and there's like no reconciliation possible, you have to not drown yourself essentially in this feeling of loss, in this feeling of nothing will change, or it's like really like taking, because again, you would be mirroring each other, taking the adversity that you're observing or feeling in the situation as the final word. Temperance says, the person or the energy says, Scorpio, wait a minute, reconsider. As much as I'm telling you don't go overboard and overload the system, that's like the first time I've ever used that phrase and I kind of like it. But anyway, as much as I'm telling you don't overload the system, don't deprive the system either. Don't feed the system, you know, a sandwich, like a dry sandwich. Like you have to put some substance or some effort in, but not too much. Like I used to say about the temperance card, it's like following a recipe. If you do too much milk in the cake, it's going to become watery. If you do too much flour, it's going to be dry or whatever. If you don't do enough eggs, then it's going to crumble apart. It's not going to have that adhesive, moist texture to it. Whatever. Follow the balanced recipe or find a balanced approach that will not give you what you want, but at least put you in a healthy state of being, a healthy state of mind. Because that's the other thing about temperance. It's more about health and wellness mentally and emotionally, less so in the physical, but sometimes it can be physical. But it's more about having a healthy balance in your mind and in your emotions and being able to operate from that standpoint. You have a lot of sadness here in the Five of Cups, a lot of melancholy energy, a lot of defeatist energy, a lot of ruminating and nostalgic energy here in the Five of Cups. Then you have this crazy burst of imagination and energy and sexual desire and passion and pleasure and just like, rawr, like, let me go out there and get him. I'm going to go out there and get him, right? Very different. Not a middle ground. Two extremes, yeah? Then you get down here and you have someone who's saying, I'm going to sweep in there, or I'm going to roll in there and sweep them up off their feet. I'm going to surprise them. I'm going to hold the fort here. And they're playing a heroic. No offense, there are no superheroes here on Earth. You know, like we can all do things that seem heroic, but in the long run, like nobody's going to be like, you know, writing pieces up about you in the Daily Planet. Today, Scorpio declared their love for their soulmate. Like, that's not newsworthy. That's not superhero. That's regular shit. So, you know, there's a bit of grandiose here in that Six of Cups. Temperance says, get a handle on all that. Get a handle on all that so that you can make a practical move. Yes. Two of Pentacles. Listen. Look how it's very similar to how we started. Also, notice the path that we started. Here, boom, 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 and then we come out here, and we're going to come out with a outcome in a second. This Two of Pentacles, very similar to the Two of Cups. Oh, look at that. Is that the heart? It's something of value. Look at the hands here. And I can't tell whose hands are hands, or whose hands are whose. But look at that. One hand is offering something or taking something out of the other one's hand, whereas up here we have a similar thing where one hand is grabbing the heart of the other and the head or the skull contents are pouring. You know, it's just, this exchange is fucking amazing. It's fucking amazing. It's fucking amazing. I don't know why I had to say that, but I did. And sorry if you're offended, but, you know, it's an adult channel. Anyway. But here it is in the practical. Remember I said that a little bit a while ago. Oh my God. That's how, like, you see what I just did a little bit a while ago? A little bit ago? A while ago. I conflated two terms. And I do that often in my regular speech, but I've been very, like, over myself, fumbling over myself. The interconnectedness of this connection is, like, consuming my speech. Okay? Now, we go from the cups, more cups, fiery passion, and then finally Temperance says, get it together, boys. Get it together, girls. Let's all, you know, let's all act as if we have some sense around here and come to a more decisive way of approaching the situation, or a more practical way of approaching the situation. So, Scorpio, I don't know what you want to do. I don't know when you want to do anything. I don't know any of that. I don't know what's going on in your mind. But what I feel here is that look how they're... Thank you. That's it. Thank you. Everything will make sense. Or the practical action is simply to see each other face to face. To see each other face to face. So going back to the caution that other people are interjecting into your life, into their lives, into the situation as a whole. The concern of, why would you call him? Why would you text her back? Why would this happen? Don't open the lines of communication. Delete them from Facebook. No, don't open the Snapchat. People are telling you what to avoid or what to do if you were to engage. Here's what you need to do. If whatever you want to do, they want to do it too. Go see each other face to face. Meet up, if possible. And again, for that group or that few of you, because I don't know how many of you would be in the service or have spouses or partners that are in the service, but again, everything's going to work out when you guys see each other face to face again. So this, I miss them. Oh, maybe that's it. Maybe like you guys aren't married, but you're like in one of those situationships where you met them and you found out they're in the service and they're like, oh, I'm going to be moving over to Japan for like a year or two. And you're like, oh my God, what? But we're so connected. And they're like, yeah, I know we're connected, but we're going to stay in touch. I'll Skype you. We'll talk, blah, blah, blah. And you do that. And you're talking and you're Skyping and your friends are like, why are you even talking to him? He's all the way in Japan. Or why are you even talking to her? She's stationed in Nicaragua. Well, I don't think he would be stationed in Nicaragua, but whatever. She's over in Germany, wherever. And people are like discouraging you. Like, it's not going to work. The distance is too great. The distance, the distance, the distance. The time, the time, the time. He's 20-something. You're 20-something. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And everybody's like warning you. Give it up or be careful, right? When you will be sure, or the way that you'll be sure is when they come back. Whether you're surprising them at the airport, they're walking in on your job, giving you the Richard Gere treatment, right? Carrying you out, officer and a gentleman, right? Whatever the reason or however the reunion happens, when you see each other, I don't care what type of relationship this is, it will make sense. And that routes me back to the shit I was telling you about my sister. We talk every day. Literally, we talk every day. Through text, we call each other, do whatever. But when we're together, bang, it's like a totally different vibe. I can talk to her. I talked to her earlier today, right? But if I saw her, it would be a different vibe. So that's what this is. The connection you have is true. The connection you have will become truer, will become better understood to you, will become even more solidified once you see each other again or for the first time. Whatever your situation is, you know it better than I do. What's the outcome? Say word. 3 of Swords in reverse. And I haven't said say word in a long time. I'll show you that card upright just so you can get a better look at it. But it's in the reverse. And hallelujah for that. 3 of Swords traditionally shows that little red heart with the 3 swords through it. This one is like way, to me, more brutal than other depictions of the 3 of Swords, because you have 2 people and one is like absolutely stabbing the other in the back, and they do it 2 times. There are 2 swords in the back. 2 swords in the back. Okay, so whatever perceived heartache, betrayal, backstabbing, piss poor decision making, whatever, is turned upside down. It's eliminated, or it's decreased. You might have, like I said, anxiety and worry. People might be in your ear trying to tell you, give up on him, give up on the relationship, or now that you guys are no longer together, that should be the last time. And I'm not here to advocate, by the way. And that's, again, why I told some of you, be real about your situation. If you're in like a toxic relationship, do not confuse that with being in a soulmate relationship. Toxicity is not the same thing as a give and take or a push and pull between good times and bad times in a in a soulmate relationship. If something is toxic, it is straight up toxic, and you should recognize the difference. Okay, so do some inventory on yourself and do some inventory on your situation. Now, the Three of Swords, again, if somebody's in your ear trying to tell you that person's no good for you, check with your heart. Check with your emotions. Check with your passion. Check with the history. Get some balance, and then see them again and see if that pans out. Is it someone else's sensibilities and concerns and convictions about your life that are influencing all of this? Or at least the Five of Cups. Because again, it's not here on the board, but I'm telling you, someone or some people around you and them are like throwing so much shade on this relationship, or so much, obstacles towards this connection. Okay. And just to clarify again, for those that this is not a romantic thing, this could be like family. This could be like you want to talk to your long lost brother or your estranged brother who, like with me and my sister, when you were growing up, maybe you didn't get along. But now that you're older, you're both adults, you have perspective, you have life experience under your belts, you have come to a greater understanding with each other. The person or the people who could be telling you to stay away from your own brother could be your parents. Could be another sibling, could be whoever. And it's like, bro, girl, whoever, you have to walk this path and make these decisions on your own. Will it be or feel like a betrayal? To some people. But for you, Scorpio, the querent of this video, the person who I'm addressing directly, for you, everything that is transpiring here works to remove or reduce this Three of Swords feeling from you, where you may have felt betrayed by your brother long ago when you guys were teenagers or in your early 20s. Maybe he did or said some really heinous things to you, right? He's now maybe apologized. He's made amends. He's walking a new path. You're walking a new path. And you recognize some semblance of a soulmate relationship with him. Can we meet over coffee? Can we go out to dinner? Can we talk this out? Can we, meet eye to eye and see if what I think is real is actually real? Go do it. You might find out he's remorseful. He's very remorseful, or she's remorseful, whoever it is. Or you might find out they have had troubles similar to you in your life. And there's some, very, symbiotic. There's like a mirroring effect between you and this person where you have experienced heartache. You might not even know, like in that family situation. This is interesting. I'm getting something where you're thinking your mom and your dad are only telling you bad things about your brother in order to keep you guys apart. You go out to dinner with your brother who you haven't seen in a few years or whatever, and you find out, oh, mom and dad have been talking to him too and telling him how much of a bad child or how much of a whatever you are. So the parents have stirred the pot to keep you two separate. That reduces the heartache for both of you. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Oh my God. Overall energy for you, Scorpio, is the King of Swords. Here it is. This is about at the highest vibration of the King of Swords, air sign energy, by the way, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. You might be dealing with one of those signs, but you don't have to be. The high quality of the King of Swords, if it is a person, I feel mostly it's like an energy, meaning it weaves through the entire situation. It weaves through it and is present in several people. At the highest level, this King of Swords is a bearer of truth. As objective as possible, this person seeks and or provides the truth. Could be the temperance person, the very like sideline character, like a friend or a friend of a friend, or even a coworker who's just like overhearing you, or that you sometimes tell some of your home life to, and they're just like, well, didn't you tell me like 2 weeks ago that this happened? And they just like kind of have like this ability to jog your memory so that it keeps you in balance and keeps your perspective, you know, sort of in the middle. You know, this person wouldn't allow you to fall to one side or the other. So this could be the same person, but they would also present as the King of Swords. So they talk well. They talk well. They speak well. They're probably pretty, I don't want to say educated like they're a PhD or something, but they're pretty worldly. They have like considerable knowledge in one particular area or one particular subject matter, something like that. Brilliant in a lot of ways, but still not, if they're in the high vibe of this energy, not going to be overly involved. Like, will only give advice, will only speak when solicited. You have to ask. Or if you want like the deep truth, the full sword, the full brunt of that sword, you gotta ask for it. The King of Swords in this position, in the high vibe, is definitely not out here getting in your business, overly involved, okay? In a low vibe, it's going both ways. In a low vibe, this person or energy, again, weaving through several people, would be, like I said, stirring the pot, troublemaker, gossiping, planting seeds of doubt, and really pouncing on vulnerable spots in a connection, exploiting vulnerabilities in a connection. Again, the parents who are mutually talking shit about their own kids to the other kid, you know, like a crisscross. You know, you shouldn't talk to your brother. Remember what happened in 6th grade? And then goes over to your brother. Remember what Scorpio did to you when you went into the 6th grade? And it's just like this weird mind fuck for no reason, it feels like. But the purview of both people, again, this could be two separate people, or it's like energy that exists in the group or something like that. But the MO, or the purpose, the motivation is to protect. All kings choose to protect, or they're charged with the duty of protection, right? They're at the top of the kingdom, the top of the food chain, right? So you have to make sure things are sweet and kept calm in your kingdom. That would be the purpose and the motivation of this person or people, right? However they present in your situation specifically, I don't know. But man, Scorpio, Jesus, what a ride. What a ride. This has been interesting. Scorpio, that is your reading for October. If you liked it, see, I can't talk. Something here is about not talking or not being able to speak clearly, and that needs to be worked on. And I feel it's better, like, think about it. Think about it. Aside from the art form of long form letter writing, which we don't have anymore, right? Texting, emailing, Skyping, Snapchats, whatever, sliding into the DMs. There's something inauthentic or something about never fully connecting. You cannot get the truth, or you cannot get the clarity, you cannot get the connection unless you see each other face to face. So my stumbling over words is like what you both are doing right now. Thinking of, what can I say in a text? How should I start this phone call? Should I say, dear Scorpio, or should I say, hi Scorpio? Or is that too casual? Should I say, what up Scorpio? There's like this idea going on in both of your heads of how do I speak to them? Go fucking see them. I'm sorry. Scorpio, that's the end of your reading. Like button is down below. Comment section is down there. If you want to drop a comment, let me know how this resonated for you. You can share the video and, of course, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Scorpio, I'll see you soon with the mid-October readings. You'll see me go live in mid-October for Libra's birthday reading. You can feel free to drop in, eavesdrop, hang out, say hi, do what you want, but the reading will be specifically for Libras at that time. You'll be followed up in mid-November for your live birthday reading, so hang on to your britches and be a little patient, and we'll do that for you guys later in November. Anyway, Scorpio, I really do appreciate you guys taking your time to watch this video today. Take care. Bye.